What's up, Cypress Bay, and welcome to the STN Showcase.
For our spring break, we took a trip to Seattle, Washington, and competed against schools from across the nation at the Student Television Network.
With a variety of competitions from silent film to multimedia journalists, the competition had many options for production students. I'm Tati Del Carpio.
And I'm Nick Ramos, and this special STN Showcase edition of Aftershock starts now.
I'm Taylor, and this year at STN, I competed in multimedia journalist. Even though I didn't place, I'm still proud of my entry. Here it is.
Stop and go. The city of Seattle is the second largest city on the West Coast, bustling with crowds of tourists and residents, but one thing remains the same throughout the city: their transportation. In March 2016, the city of Seattle decided to make a change to the public transit systems, ultimately leading to an increased percentage of commuters walking and taking the bus, like commuter Brittany Cash.
I work at Molly Moons, and there are 8 locations across King County, and if you want to pick up a shift at another shop, you just hop on a bus and it's really easy to get over there. They provide us Orca cards, so those get us around town wherever we need to go.
With what may be a remarkable transit system, Seattle was able to increase ridership in public transit while also increasing the amount of walking commuters by 69%.
If a location is close enough, I'll definitely walk, but it's really nice to be able to have the option to take the bus if I really wanted to. I think they've done a really great job of providing transportation for Seattle residents.
With many modes of transportation around the city, Seattle residents are able to commute to their job, go out, and even explore the city. For Student Television Network, I'm Taylor Fishman.
Callie, it's the camera.
Oh, hi.
Oliver, Caroline, and I made a silent film under the prompt, "If found, do not open."
We had 6 hours to shoot and edit the film. We hope you enjoy watching it just as much as we enjoyed making it.
Hi, I'm Dylan. And I'm Gabby. And this year at STN, we competed in Spot Feature. We were given 3 hours to film and 3 hours to edit a 90-second package based on the prompt In a Groove. Although we didn't place, we are still very proud of this fun and fresh segment. Now that we're done with this toss, I have to go sit down because my back kind of hurts from carrying the whole team. Enjoy!
If only smell-o-vision was a real thing. As you walk into Pike Place Market, the smell of coffee beans overwhelms you and pulls you into a small coffee shop known as Ghost Alley Espresso.
Ghost Alley started as just a tour company
We used to do ghost tours around the market. Then we decided to open up the coffee shop. And then our coffee really took off and we stopped doing the tours for a while. Then in 2017, we started roasting our own beans and then sold the shop to focus more on the roasting.
Growing up in a small town meant that there were only so many places to find jobs, therefore leading Civ in the direction of brewing coffee.
I actually grew up in an extremely small town in Montana, and there was only like 5 places to work, and I said, why not? Why not learn how to make coffee? And then I became like the only barista in town. When I graduated high school, I was like, why not go to the coffee capital of the US to learn a bit more about how it's done and maybe learn some new skills.
The atmosphere in Seattle varies from Civ's hometown, but she had no trouble adapting to this change.
I would say it's exciting. There's 1,000,001 opportunities to do, and I'm from a place that didn't offer much for anybody. It's very comfortable to live here. I immediately established a family and like a community.
With new experiences on the daily, Civ has found her niche in the world of caffeine. For Student Television Network, I'm Gabby Kernis.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Josie.
And this year at STN, we competed in Sports Highlight.
And we got second place, and we're very proud of our entry.
Hope you like it.
Down in sunny South Florida, the Dillard High School Lady Panthers took on the St. Thomas Lady Raiders in the 2019 BCAA Big 8 State Championship. The Raiders came out of the gate strong with a defensive rebound by the 5'8" guard Samara Spencer, who went coast to coast scoring an easy layup. Throughout the first quarter, St. Thomas maintained a steady lead. The second quarter was off to a slow start, and it wasn't until about 4 minutes in that the Raiders' offense started to heat up. And just like South Florida weather, the forecast called for rain behind the three-point line on the right-hand side of the court, adding to St. Thomas's 13-point lead at the end of the half. Dillard came out of the locker room ready for the comeback. The St. Thomas defense began to look sloppy in the paint, allowing Dillard to score 13 points in 5 minutes. It seemed like the Raiders were playing against a whole new team in the fourth quarter as the Panthers caught a hot streak of their own as Kenteha Ling dropped 3 threes from her sweet spot in the corner. The Raiders were able to scrap together a few more points, giving them a 1-point lead with 3 seconds to go. The Panthers placed their trust in Johnson as she drives down the court, putting up the game-winning shot. But if you take a closer look, the ball was still in her hand as the clock hit 0. For STN Sports, I'm Josie Clancy reporting.
What's up, Cypress Bay? I'm Nick Ramos.
And I'm Ethan Gare.
And for our competition, we competed in sports commentary.
The prompt was expansion of video replay.
We didn't place, but we're still proud of our submission.
Here it is. Hey Nick, what's up?
It's all over.
What do you mean it's all over? I just checked, we were up by a field goal.
The ref just missed a blatant pass interference call. The whole season is for nothing.
Ugh. A season should never end like this. Over the years, penalty calls have determined whether a team hoists the trophy or goes home empty-handed. In the past decade, professional sports such as baseball and football have experienced atrocious officiating. The Des Bryant and Jesse James no-catch calls, Nickel Roby Coleman's missed pass interference call, and last but certainly not least, Seattle's very own Fail Mary, in which both teams came down with the ball at once. All of these controversial calls can now be made easier with the high-tech replay system the league has today. According to Sports Illustrated, replays have definitely slowed baseball games down to an average of 3 hours and 2 minutes. Recently, the NFL passed a new rule allowing there to be an instant replay on pass interference calls. This will allow the league to be a more fair environment. Why would it be any different in the NFL? Yes, it would take longer, but fans and sports enthusiasts everywhere want the game to be more fair. Overall, professional leagues will implement new instant replay rules while maintaining the excitement and honesty of the game. After all, your team's chance of winning the championship shouldn't be determined by one bad call.
For Student Television Network, I'm Ethan Gay.
Hi, my name is Ariana, and I competed in action sports editing with my partner Logan. We had 3 hours to edit together, but it is still borders. Although we didn't place, we're still proud of our entry. Here it is.
What's up, Cypress Bay? I'm Julian.
Join the video.
What? We're an audio contest.
We still need video.
I guess. There we go. Anyways, my name's Julian.
And I'm Tyler. And this year we competed in STN's first ever podcast competition.
We had 6 hours to record and edit a 5-minute podcast based off of the prompt Into the Future.
And for our efforts, we got 4th place out of 20 teams.
We couldn't be more proud of what we made, and we hope you enjoy it too.
Good afternoon to all you working men and women of America. Welcome to the Midday Break, the best podcast for your lunch break that we both know is way too short. As always, I'm your host, James Ludwig, and sitting across from me today in my studio, I've got my good friend and current Tesla Motors intern, Kevin Wolf.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy. It's great to be here.
Kevin, mi casa es su casa. All right, folks, so on to today's topic. I was up late a few nights ago. I was just clicking YouTube video after YouTube video, and I came across one that stood out to me. Basically, this guy, he was saying that because of the way that media works now, how we can access anything and everything that we want at a moment's notice, this idea of having cultural eras is just going to disappear. So like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, we're not going to look back on the 2010s or the 2000s or the 2020s. So Kevin, you know, as someone who works in marketing and someone who's very good with detecting what people are going to buy, I just want to get your perspective. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think because, like you were talking about social media, you're going to see trend after trend, but they're really fast trends. You know, you see with memes, you'll have a dozen, 2 dozen genres in a month, whereas, 20, 30 years ago, you didn't have this kind of really rapidly evolving just subculture kind of among younger generations.
I think the internet in large part contributes to that, just because, I mean, again, I said it, you can access anything and everything. Back then, you'd have to just listen to radio stations.
Oh, definitely. And you kind of see with Spotify and other music sharing services, you're not going to a store and buying a record anymore. You can go on Spotify and get a playlist with 50 bands of, world music. There's no reason for you to kind of center yourself on one focus. You can get out there and explore all the different options, music, just general culture.
Right. Well, speaking of new tech, a guy's got to pay his rent. So here's a word from the sponsor of today's broadcast, Jump Bikes. Are you tired of the hustle and bustle of city driving? Are you tired of sitting in traffic for hours on end? Look no further than Jump Bikes. With Uber-assisted tracking, Jump Bikes are easy to locate and cost just 10 cents per minute. Featuring pedal-assisted motors, Jump Bikes boost users to up to 15 miles per hour, moving you from place to place easier than ever before. From shoreline to SeaTac, this is Jump, Seattle electrified.
Yeah, so I guess we were like the last generation to have an era. It's kind of weird.
That's weird. Like, people are going to be looking like, oh, you're a 90s kid? Like, no, I'm a 2016 kid. Right. Okay, anyway, back on track. So we know technology is contributing. We know that mass media as a whole contributes to it. But would you say maybe there's a human element in this? Like, maybe people don't want to be put in a box, that they see all these things that they could be and they want to incorporate what they can. And going forwards, that's also going to help lead to that sort of breakdown of eras?
I think you're right. I think there is kind of a human aspect to this. And, part of it is people are wanting to be more and more informed as we've kind of become more comfortable as society. No terribly major wars in the last couple of decades. We're starting to try to build knowledge rather than, worry about, how many kids we have so we can work the farms or, whatever. We're really trying to learn and develop more as a culture. And part of that is becoming more cultured, expanding your horizons, learning things about other countries, about just media in general. So I think there is a human aspect to it for sure.
I'm thinking that at some point people just don't want to be put into a box.
Definitely, yeah. I think there's a trend towards less generalization, and you see that a lot of places.
Right, and you can see that there's a big shift towards just the individual.
You are seeing that, and I think just reinforcing the whole everybody wants to learn just idea. You expand what you know about yourself, and also in doing that, you're kind of bettering the world around you by then transferring that knowledge to other people.
Yeah, it's that idea of like what's good for the sheep is good for the flock, really.
Yeah.
So I guess going forward we'd have just a society of people who really are gathering this information, and we're no longer dividing ourselves by age groups. We'll start to see people more as just individuals.
Oh, absolutely. And really, you heard this a couple of years ago, this kind of idea of a technological renaissance that's starting to happen, we're really seeing that now. The amount of knowledge available to one person at the press of a button is incredible, absolutely incredible.
That is insane. Well, folks, it seems your lunch break is almost over, and I am out of time for today. So, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on.
It's always good talking to you, James.
As always, I am James Ludwig, and this has been your Midday Break. This is a production of the STN Podcast Network.
How do you do? My name is Tomas. I competed in PSA with the prompt Going Green. My group didn't place, but we sure are proud of our entry. Enjoy.
Our world is dying. We walk on it. We pollute it. We destroy it. We're running out of time. Do your part to save it. Before it's too late.
Hi, I'm Alyssa.
I'm Tati.
And I'm Ryan. This year, competed in the social media story competition at the STN National Convention.
The three of us, plus our teammate Austin, had about 4 hours to create a stand-up as well as a promotional photo and a headline based off a news story about a lost elderly lady.
Luckily, we were awarded 5th place in the nation. Enjoy! It was in this parking area of the Hyatt Regency Hotel where a bellman noticed an elderly lady in distress. What he soon learned was quite touching. More on Channel 22 at 7 p.m.
Hi, I'm Dylan Buxtell, and I competed in STN's first video tip contest where my partner and I had 5 hours to film, edit, and produce based off the prompt, How to Frame a Good Shot. Unfortunately, we did not win, but we were very proud of what we made. Enjoy. So you're aspiring to become a filmmaker and/or journalist. One important aspect of the video making process is shot composition. Here's some helpful guidelines on how to properly frame your shot. First off, make sure that you understand the rule of thirds. This technique involves the usage of a 3x3 grid that helps visually show important compositional elements. In this shot, you can see that the subject isn't properly placed along the vertical and horizontal lines. Adjustment simply consists of moving the camera to the correct position. Next, we're going to talk about light. Now you'll need to make sure that the lighting conditions are proper for the shot. When shooting with a light source, place the subject where the light will shine on them to avoid unwanted shadows. You can see in this shot that the subject is completely obscured. Adjustment involves either changing the angle of the shot or moving the light source. So now you know how to properly frame a shot. For Student Television Network, I'm Dylan Buxtell.
That's all for this special STN Showcase edition of Aftershock.
We're so proud of our team for trying their best and placing in 4 different competitions in the nation.
If you want to watch previous episodes, visit us at cypressbaytv.com.
And while you're at it, follow us on Twitter at Cypress Bay CBTV. I'm Tati Del Carpio.
And I'm Nick Ramos. Thanks for watching.